I had free run of the plateau. I mean, if I wanted to go anywhere, they unlocked it and I went there.
Oh.
Which was really kind of neat.
Yeah, different than the tourists.
Oh, way different. Yeah, I spent 3 hours in the King's Chamber. I spent a half an hour in the Queen's Chamber, which you do not get to go into, and the various pyramids. But I found a tunnel that led from the pyramid down to the tail of the Sphinx. It was underground about 300 feet.
It went from the pyramid over to it?
Yes.
You know, my work, I've heard they have those tunnels, but I didn't know if they'd ever been discovered.
Yes.
So
yes.
Do the people there, the authorities, know those tunnels are there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, when we discovered it, see, originally it was on the, what do you call it, the grand, I can't think of what you call it, going from the pyramids to the Sphinx. There was a well that was right there that had been filled with water forever, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Well, all of a sudden the well dried up. And so Boris Said, he was the producer for Mysteries of the Sphinx, and he was working on this particular project. He was filming it.
Yeah, I've heard of him. He's an authority over there.
Oh, yeah. He's great. And so I told Boris, I said, Boris, at the bottom of that well, there is a tunnel that leads from the pyramid to the tail of the Sphinx. Well, sure enough, the water dries up. Boris goes down there, and the first level contains sarcophaguses, okay?
Yeah, these had never been seen before.
Never been seen before.
Yeah.
Then there is another level, and then there is a lower level, which had the appearance of an underground temple.
How did it appear as a temple?
It had 4 columns in the center, and it was a square, okay? And on the columns there were notches, and it's the same notches that I had seen in the Great Pyramids. I don't know how to express that, but they're notched.
She'll be back in a few minutes.
And I noticed that there was still water there, okay?
Yeah.
And the center of the square was filled with water.
You see, Carol, do you close the door there or something?
It's not me.
Okay, I was thinking for whoever it is in the other room, if you can close
Not
the door
mine.
so we won't hear them.
That's not me. We've got somebody else there.
Oh, well, they usually aren't online with us.
I know. It's weird, isn't it?
Oh, I have weird things, but anyway. Okay.
I don't know who that is.
No, it's not on my end. I thought it was on yours.
I thought it was on yours.
I thought maybe it was James in the other room.
No.
Well, I don't know. They usually close their line off. I'm sorry. Let's. It wouldn't be unusual for me to have strange things happening anyway if you're on the air. Okay, but these notches, you found those in the pyramids also?
Yes.
Let's go back to that part.
I noticed notches going to the King's Chamber.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anyone ever paid attention to them or not. Another thing that I noticed was the stairway leading to the King's Chamber is worn away.
Worn away?
Yeah, it's made out of stone, granite, and the stairway is worn away. Now, how did the stairway get worn away?
It has to be a lot of people walking up and down.
Sure would.
Yeah.
But that isn't the case.
It's not?
No. It was that way when they opened it.
Oh. Well, unless in the olden times, you mean way back when it was built, do you think there was a lot of people going up and down?
I do, yes.
So something would have had to have worn it down.
People. You see, I fully believe that the pyramids were places of initiation.
Yes, I believe that because, in my hypnosis cases, we have people that lived in those times.
Uh-huh.
And they were used for a lot. They weren't tombs. They were used for a lot of other things.
They were like temples.
Yeah. Exactly. And there were a lot of ceremonies that took place.
That's correct. And if you look at the stairway, you will see that it's been worn away by feet.
That would would mean like maybe, whole groups of maybe secret schools or something.
Exactly.
With the people going up and down.
Exactly.
What about the Queen's chamber? Were those the same way?
It's straight through. There's no stairs.
Oh, it just goes straight through.
Uh-huh.
But we'll go back to the Sphinx in a minute, but you said you were sitting in there for 3 hours. What did you pick up when you sat there that long?
It was very interesting. J.J. Hertek, I don't know if you know about him.
Yeah, I know him.
Okay. J.J. Hertek was there, and he had some singers that came in and they played and they sang all the names of God.
Uh-huh.
And this went on for like 3 hours.
Mm.
And Boris said, we all sat around in the King's chamber, and Boris said that I sat in various positions that a yoga would sit in.
Yeah.
Master positions that I have no memory of.
Hmm.
I just don't have any memory of it.
Do you normally do yoga?
I don't do yoga at all.
So you wouldn't know those positions.
No. I mean, that's what they told me.
Yeah.
I have no memory. But I knew that I kind of, in my mind, I was just sort of floating.
Yeah.
While this was going on, and I was lost in the names of God being sung, and it was like it had only been going on for a few minutes.
Mm. So you weren't picking up any information from the King's chamber. You were just like in an altered state then.
I was in an altered state. Now, I did pick up a lot of information while I was there. I picked up some information that I gave to Dr. Shore that he said was verified by a papyrus that's kept secret, and it's all written in red, which I thought was interesting. That's what got me to Egypt when I told him that information.
Oh, then he realized you knew something that the average person wouldn't know.
That's right. Otherwise, I wasn't going. He wasn't really interested in me going. Boris wanted me to go.
Uh-huh.
But
let's go back to the Sphinx then, because I know you told me, you said you did go in there and you found the sarcophagus. And didn't you find skeletons and things?
Well, when we went to the very bottom of this well, that's where this apparent temple was located.
Yeah.
And there was a black sarcophagus lid that was over in the corner, lying flat.
Yeah.
And it had no lip to it, which was kind of interesting. And there were skeletons everywhere.
Down in the bottom of the well?
Uh-huh. Human remains everywhere. So everyone was like really shook up because there were human bodies, there were skeletons all around.
Didn't you say the ones that went with you, the ones that got shook up?
Yeah.
So the Egyptians, the men.
Yeah, well, everyone was, they were just like shook up. So I picked up one of the thigh bones and tuned into it. And I saw that there had been a battle between the priests, the high priests,
yeah,
and warriors, that they were shutting down, the priests were shutting down the Sphinx, the chambers under the Sphinx, and the Great Pyramids. They were all being shut down.
Could you pick up on why?
Yes, there was a takeover by the people. The people wanted to no longer abide by the priests. And
they had a lot of power in those days.
They had awesome power.
Uh-huh.
And so there was a total takeover. And the priests were murdered, but not before they sealed the entry to the tunnel that led from the pyramid to the base of the Sphinx.
Uh-huh.
And the government refused to lift that sarcophagus lid while we were there, which really kind of ticked Boris off and upset Dr. Shore, because I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt there was a tunnel under there.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Later, they did lift it up, and they did find the tunnel. But the tunnel was filled with water.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
Uh-huh.
You couldn't go down any further then.
Couldn't go down any further. Now, there is an antechamber right under the base of the Sphinx, at the tail of the Sphinx, which is only 12 feet down. And they had dug a tunnel. The Egyptians had dug a tunnel to that entry, but there was a big wall there of solid granite.
Uh-huh.
And they couldn't get through it. They didn't know how to get through it. And they were afraid to get through it because they were afraid it would unstabilize the whole plateau.
Oh, the whole plateau?
Underneath the Sphinx.
Wow.
See, the Sphinx is created by a single block of limestone.
Yeah.
And its flooring is also that single block of limestone. And the wall around it is also that single block of limestone.
But it has an inner, it's riddled underneath with tunnels, though.
It has 9 chambers altogether, 8 chambers, and they're stair-stepped because they did sounding. We did, Mr. DeBecke did soundings and found that these chambers were at various levels underneath the Sphinx.
Uh-huh.
And there's a huge chamber under the right paw of the Sphinx, which is about 900 feet long. And he found that it was filled with objects.
Objects?
Some kind of objects. Don't know what they are. We can suspicion what they are, but we don't know what they are. But apparently some of them are of metal, some of them are various things because they give off certain soundings.
Oh, okay.
But we were not allowed to go any farther with it.
You know, Carol, that's the problem. I'm watching the clock.
I'm sorry.
And I'm going to have to stop, because they always want us to stop 5 minutes before the hour, but we're just getting into something very fascinating here.
Oh, it was awesome. At some point, I'll tell you the information that I got.
That's what I'm wondering. If we did another show, would you fill us in some more on these things?
Sure.
Because, and I think we have just touched the tip of the iceberg.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I think we're going to have to stop now, and maybe we can continue this, and if we do, we'll start in on this same type of information.
Okay, that's
I've known you so long, I know you have tons of information.
Oh, yes.
And you're getting ready to go to Bali.
Yes, getting ready to do that.
Okay, so I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I know they're going to pull the plug in a few minutes.
I understand.
Okay, well, let's sign off for now then. Oh, give out your website number, what people can click in on.
Dolores, can you do that?
All right, I'll do that then.
I'm no good. I blow up computers and just do
to tell them so they can click in on it if they want to find out more about you.
I think it's CarolPatePsychicCenter.com.
It's all in one word.
All in one word.
CarolPatePsychicCenter.com.
Uh-huh.
You have a number if they want to call you, or do you want any more calls?
Well, it's okay. They won't be able to reach me. They'll have to call Carol, who works with me.
Yeah, they'll get you. We have to be shielded. There's no other way you can do it.
I can't do it any other way.
Uh-huh.
It's area code 501-888-8056.
You repeat that?
Area code 501-888-8056.
Okay. And I want to thank you for coming on, and I know we'll have you on again.
Well, Dolores, thank you so much for this interview. I've enjoyed it. Of course, I always enjoy talking to you.
Okay. All right. Well, then we're signing off right now then, and until next week.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You have been listening to BBS Radio, a blogandservice.com production and a service to others endeavor. Thank you very much for tuning in to our radio program, and we wish you much peace and joy on your journey.